kind of loud. You're gonna have to turn it down some. Whew. How's everybody doing today? All right. Well, is it still morning? Yeah, starting on time. Good morning, family, friends, graduates, and prominent guests. To the graduation ceremonies of Nevada Department of Corrections, Southern Academy.
Class, attention! Forward march!
At this time, I would like to call Sergeant Struck and the Nevada Department of Corrections Honor Guard to present the colors.
Gentlemen, if you're able, please stand for. Uniform officers, raise your hands up. Uniform officers, order, go. Honor guard, center, brace.
Class, sit. Adjust. Okay, now we got that part out the way. I am Sergeant Gregory Carter, Academy Commander for the Southern Region of Nevada Department of Corrections. My staff includes Senior Correctional TAC Officer Gallo, Correctional TAC Officer Howard, Correctional TAC Officer Beret. Also in the training division, we have Employee Development Manager, which is Roxanne Barajas. At the head table, we have our Director, James Zorinda. We have our guest speaker, Irene Bustamante. We have Deputy Director of Operations, David Tristan. We have Warden for Florence McClure, Women's Correctional Center, William Rubert. Warden for Southern Desert Correctional Center, Gabriella Nahara. Warden for High Desert State Prison, Brian E. Williams. And Associate Warden of Operations for High Desert State Prison, Jeremy Bean. Okay, so now that's all out the way. I want to thank you guys for coming. You guys get home safe, and I appreciate it. Let me stop. These guys right here get me for that. This has been an enduring brain buster, strength challenging, voices slightly elevated a little bit, 7 weeks. Not only for these 10 graduates, but also the Academy staff and everyone in the audience. Without the encouragement from everyone in the room, no matter how the encouragement was given, it was needed for these graduates to advance to where they're at right now. But it's not over. Being a correctional officer has long nights and early mornings. Support and understanding is what you in the audience would need to give these graduates. With that being said, I would like everyone to give these guys a round of applause. The class have put together a video to show you their 7 weeks of what it was like to be in the Academy for Nevada Department of Corrections. Put together by recruit Ryan. So when they was coming home after work and tired, didn't want to do anything, that's the reason why. At this time, I would like to bring up our keynote speaker. She used to be an assemblywoman and still is, correct? Okay. She'll tell you guys a little bit more about that when she get up here. But born in California, moved to Nevada to complete her studies at UNLV. She served in the legislative, and when she's not working, she's actually reading, enjoying sports, and she still go and help out the community. Please give a warm welcome for Irene Bustamante.
Good morning, everyone. It is awesome to be here with you. I have been thinking about this moment, this day, since the director called me and asked me to say a few words. And why it's so special to me is because we are a military family. So I know what it's like to be on the other end as a spouse while your loved one takes on a dangerous mission or a battle. I know what it's like to be able to keep the family together when they do come home exhausted and tired and mentally drained. So that's why it's a special moment for me. So thank you, Director, for asking me. And so during the last week, I've been thinking about if I had the opportunity to share a few words, what would I say? And I came up with 3 things. One, I just want to express my gratitude to the graduating class. I don't know if Nevadans or people, just in general, if we thank you enough for what you are about to undertake and for the leaders of what you're undertaking now. I know that you're going into a battle for our safety. You are probably taking on the toughest job in public safety than any other profession has. And you've been chosen. There's something about you, about your character, about what you've demonstrated, of where you are in your journey, of why you've chosen this new chapter in your life. So as a former elected official, I just want to express my gratitude in that way to let you know that I am grateful for your public service. And to the families, I just want to express my gratitude for allowing your loved ones to follow their path, because it's not easy. Sometimes we are the hindrance and maybe not the support, because it is a tough job that they're taking on. And I want to say thank you for being that support, for keeping the family together, and for encouraging these young men and young women to be their best at what they're doing for our state. Second, I wanted to let you know that leadership at the right leader at the right time matters. And when Director Zarenda called me, as much as I hate public speaking, and believe me, I do, but when he called, I didn't hesitate. I'm like, yep, I'll be there. When? I need this day, this time, I'll change everything. I'll move everything around because I wanted to be here, especially to show my support to him and his leadership for our state. I remember when I was in the legislature, it was 2010, my freshman year. Didn't know anything about politics, but volunteered because I wanted to do something. I wanted to get off of the sideline and get in the game. I didn't know anything about fundraising. I didn't know how to craft policy. I wasn't a public speaker, but I was going to do my part. And I remember distinctively the director coming and sharing his vision of what he had for our state. And that was that impactful for me, that when he called and he said, Irene, can you come and share a few words? And I said, yes, because the right leader at the right time matters. And so for your loved ones, they're the right leader at the right time. They're going to go in and do their part, get off of the sideline, and make an impact for the state of Nevada, especially Southern Nevada. So the right leader at the right time. And thank you, Director, for your leadership. Thank you for bringing back Deputy Director Tristan. I've missed you. And thanks for coming out of retirement. My gosh, who does that, right? Very comfortable. I don't know, you're probably watching sports all day or something, right? So thank you. And to the rest of his leaders, I am so grateful for your leadership and what you do every day to serve the facilities and to serve our state. So thank you. And then lastly, I just wanted to say that self-care. To the graduating class, remember self-care is important. As a military spouse, I always took advantage of making sure that I took the resources, the classes that they offered to help me stay in the right mindset to be able to have our loved one serve. And so I ask you, self-care is important not only for you, but for you families in the audience. Some days they're going to come home and not want to talk, or maybe that's every day now, who knows? But right, I made sure that our kids, our daughters, took advantage of the resources offered. And I got that through the military or at our local church, or I got it at a community center, whatever it was, we went, and sometimes begrudgingly from my husband. But it was dependent on me to make sure that self-care was a priority. I started off this year by going to a funeral of a public safety officer who didn't know who he was without the badge. And it broke my heart to watch the family that was left here to understand why he made that decision. And part of it was not getting the self-care that he needed to talk to someone about his day-to-day activities of what he missed by being in public safety. And so I just want to let you know that part of that self-care includes coming to this building, Hope for Prisoners, because it's something that we fund as an agency where I work now. It's because they're going to see the worst of what human beings make decisions to do. And you need to come back to something like this where you watch people who want a second chance, who've decided to take accountability for what they did and turn their life around. And watching that graduation here is part of what restores your faith in human beings, that you can make a bad decision, you can make a mistake, but you can grow from it and move forward. And so remember the self-care. And if they can't do it, remember to put it on your top priority. We've got to go, even if it's listening to a podcast, as simple as that, make sure that it's a priority for your families. So those are the three things that I want to share. Leadership at the right time, the right person matters. Thank you to these leaders here that are sitting down, that are getting ready to graduate, because they put in the hard work. I don't think I could punch a dummy like that. Maybe my husband, but not, when I get mad. But they are taking on what most of us are protected from and never will get to see. And so I'm grateful and thank you for stepping up and stepping in to take on that challenge. And just express my gratitude to the families, especially. Sometimes it's almost as hard, if not equally, to be the one that sits at home and tries to keep it together. So thank you. So on behalf of the state, as a former legislator and now as an elected official of the Clark County School District, which is also equally challenging, but I appreciate those that step in from the sideline to do something and not just sit. Thank you very much for having me.
Ms. Bustamante, thank you for those words. I greatly appreciate the encouragement given to the new recruits. Senior Attack Officer Gallo, can you please step forward to present the awards of achievement?
So I am senior officer for the Academy Gallo, and each one of these cadets have gone through a lot in the past 7 weeks, and we want to recognize a few of them. The first one I want to recognize for Physical Fitness Award. This cadet went ahead far and beyond his times, his running, his stamina between our PT tests, our regular PT on a daily, and also as far as us doing DTs, ASP training. He had the best times and responses. That cadet is Michael Simpson. The next 3 awards, I'm going to go with the academic award first. This cadet has achieved a 99.36 average throughout the 7 weeks. His name is Stephen Lehman. Stephen Lehman, I want you just to stand right there for a second, because we also have the Weapons Achievement Award. Cadet Lehman showed 100% on all his weapon mastery. It was tough because he had a little competition with Cadet Ryan. At the end of the day, Cadet Lehman took over and showed his excellence in his firearms. Last but not least, also going to Cadet Lehman, because he's a superstar, is his Leadership Award. That award was given and voted by his peers. Cadet Lehman went far and beyond his duties to keep his class in line, motivate them when they needed motivating them, and pick them up when they needed to be picked up. With that being said, them 3 awards that I'm going to give him right now have been well earned by Cadet Lehman. You got all 3 of them. You want to turn around and hold them up, and we'll. Thank you, sir. Now, Cadet Lehman will also stay here because he's been voted class speaker. He's just taken over. Warden, this is the guy to be looking for. With that being said, he has got a speech that he's prepared, and he would like to address that at that time. Come on. Sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for joining us today for this momentous occasion. On behalf of my graduating class, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to our distinguished guests. Director Zarenda, Deputy Director Tristan, thank you tremendously for your leadership and your presence today. Mrs. Bustamante, thank you very much for your words of encouragement. You were truly an inspiration this morning. Thank you. To our institutional wardens and associate wardens, thank you for your presence as well and your leadership. To any command staff and our fellow officers, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us this morning to celebrate. I also want to take a moment to thank the Hope for Prisoners organization for providing us with this venue that we can celebrate together. Also, a thanks to the honor guard, and all other guest instructors which have helped the 10 of us achieve this milestone that we are here for today. Probation officer, warehouse worker, X-ray technician, mortgage underwriter, waitress, security professional, police officer, cement mason, and Air Force pilot. These are some of the previous occupations of the 10 new officers before you today. In order to see where we are going, or what could be, it is important to acknowledge where we came from, for it is those unique personal experiences, skills, and qualities with which we brought with us to day one of this academy. These comprise the individual ingredients for a greater cohesive recipe, and that recipe is what is before you. 10 individuals whom have bonded as one team under a single new occupational duty title, correctional officer. It is also notable that the diversity of our backgrounds is keenly suitable to this specific aspect of the criminal justice system. The correctional officer is often undervalued, misunderstood, and misrepresented due to the nature and context of this profession primarily taking place behind secure walls and purposely separate from the public. The reality, however, is that correctional officers are truly the quintessential jack of all trades within the greater umbrella of the law enforcement professionals. Part police, part security, part EMT, social worker, coach, parental figure, supervisor, role model, teacher, server, driver. COs do more with less every day. When I began considering what I wanted to say today, I originally had planned to talk a little about each member individually. However, something somewhat profound occurred to me as I was brainstorming, and that is that my remarks for each person were sounding like a broken record from one person to the next. I had a special realization that it was no longer about the individual, but rather the collective team, to include our trials and tribulations. We all faced some unique adversities and perhaps at times struggled quietly to ourselves, but in the end, our successes were mounted together. We overcame, locked arms, held the line, and grew past our hardships as an uplifting unit. We owned our failures and shared our successes, and as a result, we each took a little part from each one of us, weaving that quality into our very fabric a little more each day until we had woven a sense of uniformity, looking the same, acting the same, with the same newly acquired or developed qualities. In my opinion, what I feel and observe to be the primary and uniquely defining attributes of this class are positivity, support, and attitude towards the profession. This actually first occurred to me already during week 3, during our class about police ethics. I had asterisked a passage in the slide specifically because I felt an inclination towards it. Rather, I felt it was particularly associable to this class, and I shall read that now. The law enforcement officer shall regard the discharge of his or her duties as public trust and recognize his or her responsibility as a public servant. By diligent study and sincere attention to self-improvement, he or she shall strive to make the best possible application of science to the solution of crime and in the field of human relationships. Strive for effective leadership and public influence in matters affecting public safety. He or she shall appreciate the importance and responsibility of his or her office and hold police work to be an honorable profession, rendering valuable service to his or her community and country. That was Article 11 of the Canons of Police Ethics. To my class, you are all warriors in both the physical and mental sense. Each of you have tremendous character, some of which is the most remarkable that I've partaken with anywhere. You have the hearts of lions and the mutual support of the pride. You are resilient, disciplined, and you are worth maybe more than you realize at this moment. Do not doubt yourselves, because I don't. I've been saying it for 7 weeks, and I continue to be highly impressed and proud of all of you. Look at how far we have come. Thank you, first of all, for selecting me for your class leadership award. I'm beyond touched and honored, but moreover, thank you for trusting me. Thank you for following me when you are under absolutely no obligation to do so. And thank you for putting up with me and allowing me to be part of this team that we have orchestrated. I want to leave you with this. It is one of my favorite quotes. It's from a very famous author that you may have heard of. His name is William Shakespeare. This story shall the good man teach his son, and Crispin Crispian shall ne'er go by. From this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. To my class, you are all my brothers and sister. To my Academy staff and all the officers in the room, you are my brothers and sisters, and I am yours. If home means Nevada, then NDOC means family, and multiple families make a community. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you one final time before signing off. On behalf of my class, we are extremely appreciative of your attendance this morning and your unwavering and unconditional support from days past, present, and most certainly needed the days to come. I also want to thank my family and friends who are watching on the live stream, and my children, Avery and Cole, and their mom, for making the trip to Nevada and all of their support. Dad loves you, and I hope that one day you'll be proud of what you've seen here today. People have long said that some things never change, but sometimes they do. And that begins right now with this first graduating class of 2023. We will be the change that you hope to see and that we hope to be, as emboldened in us by our Academy commander and TAC officers. It is my honor to pledge that we are the battle-born. We too protect the city, the silver state with the blue flag. And yes, I know in corrections sometimes we refer to the thin gray line, but really, we are one thin blue line because we are law enforcement. We are Nevada peace officers. And we will support you, we will protect you, we will defend you, and we will make you proud. Thank you. On behalf of the class, and as a token of our appreciation, Sergeant Carter, we would like to present you with our class plaque. Thank you for teaching us and setting the standard for how to be a correctional officer.
Told these guys I wasn't gonna cry. But just in case, I got them ready. All right, so we're here and everybody know why we're here. And I guess this is the part that we all been waiting for. Class, attention! Associate 1B, can you please step forward to administer the oath of office? Class, present arms.
I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support, protect, and defend the Constitution and government of the United States of America and the Constitution and government of the state of Nevada against all enemies, whether domestic or foreign, and that I will bear true faith, allegiance, and loyalty to the same, of any ordinance, resolution, or law of any state notwithstanding, and that I will faithfully perform all duties of the position of peace officer in the state of Nevada, on which I am about to enter. So help me God.
Class, order, arms. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and pleasure to present the newest peace officers for the state of Nevada. Can I please have the head table wardens, directors, step forward in front of the table? Academy staff. Now we're going to have the pinning of the badges. Officer Joseph Gutierrez. Officer Eduardo Hernandez, High Desert State Prison. Officer Bruce Hainan, Southern Desert Correctional Center. Officer Milton Jones, the third. High Desert State Prison. I forgot about that. Officer Stephen Lehman, High Desert State Prison. Officer Lakeisha Polk, Jean. Officer Kareem Robinson, Southern Desert. Officer Julius Ryan, High Desert State Prison. Officer Michael Simpson, Southern Desert. Last but not least, Officer Robert Villa, High Desert State Prison. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, head table, please give a warm welcome and congratulations to the new Nevada Department of Correction officers. Be seated. Adjust. Coming close to closing. I know you guys don't want to leave, but it's almost about that time. I would like to call up Director Zorinda to give our closing remarks.
First, what a great job Sergeant Carter did. This was his first graduating ceremony, and what an awesome job he did. Really proud to have him here. So what I'd like to do is actually try to give some either wisdom or education to those that are here or to the graduating class. It was 36 years next month ago that I graduated the same thing, graduated with as a correction officer in one of the city jails in Connecticut. I know it's going through their minds because it went through mine is why am I here? Should I be doing this? Is this really what I want to do? And what am I going to really be facing in the years to come? I'll have to tell you one thing, it's the best thing I've ever done. And as you grow up in an agency, it takes time to really understand what your purpose is in that agency. Why am I here? What does a correction officer's role really entail? And it's not just safety, security. And I started realizing a lot of this when growing up in the agencies, working in jails, working in prisons, running parole. I ran the whole state of Connecticut parole division, jails and prisons in Connecticut. I left and ran all the city jails in New York City, all the boroughs, Rikers Island, before coming here to the Nevada Department of Corrections, then starting my own jail system over in North Las Vegas, then went back as county sheriff. Now I'm back here again. It took a long time for me to understand really what the importance is. And it's twofold. And there's a reason why we're here today in Hope for Prisoners, because this is something that the correction officers don't really get until they really see the impacts that they make. So our first goal as a correction officer is safety and security of everyone that you're watching, and also your brothers and sisters that you work with. Because once you have safety and security, we can start thinking and operate with something else. And that something else is what you do as a correction officer by mentoring, by being able to show and do what you should to change somebody's life. And yes, we're not naive that you could change every offender, but you can change somebody's life, and you will see that as it happens. Why would we want to change someone's life? Well, because 90% of the offenders that are under our care are getting back into the community. They're going back in the community, and what does that mean? They're coming back to us. They're going back in our neighborhoods. We have our children, our family, our friends. If we don't do a good job as corrections, people are going to be continually victimized. And when we start looking at what we can do, and because we'll see these officers will see the worst of the worst problems, they're looking at individuals that society have failed. Their failures or their problems have occurred so deep that now they're incarcerated in a prison system. It doesn't mean they're not going to be citizens ever again. It actually means that 90% will be returning back as citizens. We have to figure ways out to change behaviors. And behaviors isn't just the bad behaviors of actions, but also their addictions, their mental health. Changing those behaviors so that they get back in the community so our next generation of family are going to be safe. And if we do a bad job, that's when you start seeing the crime increase. You start seeing that those that we're releasing back in are re-victimizing, and it puts our families in that type of a situation where we don't want to see our kids getting victimized. And we got to realize the correction officers have a very big role in changing those behaviors. So when they're having the graduation here, it's symbolic. And having Irene Bustamante Adams here as a speaker is symbolic, because you have to realize that we are, as a community, we need everyone's resources, whether it's the workforce connections, Hope for Prisoners, whether it's job opportunities, whether it's wraparound services for mental health and addiction services. We all do this together and as a team, not as a correctional agency, as a team, so that we can get people back in the community a lot better than when they came in. Going better into the community and having those resources means my kids are safer. And what I told the governor when I first came back here, it was actually right after his election. He said, if I ever come back here, what's your real purpose on what you want to do with the agency? And I said, my family wants to come back. So if my family wants to come back to Nevada, I'm going to do a really damn good job in changing behavior, because I want my kids to have a safe future. Have to instill that in the staff and let them understand that part of our purpose is to be changing behaviors and controlling behaviors, which is almost seems like a contradiction, because there's fights, there's violence, and you got to stay focused on what you were really trying to do is change that. So in the correctional system, it doesn't happen again, or it gets reduced. But more important, when they get back out in the community, our communities are safer. It's a big job. It's an important job. And it's a job that can actually change things forever. And then when you start realizing that, when you see you could change one person, you just realize that one individual's life that you just changed, the behaviors and the connections back into the community and the jobs to be able to get sustainable living, you just reduced a whole new history of people not being victimized. It's a big deal. And when you start seeing it happen, you start realizing the correction officer's role and responsibility is extremely important, and more than just watching and keeping security. But anyway, it's more than that, but it took a long time for me to understand that. That's why I think it was important, so that everyone here understands why we're here at Hope for Prisoners, why I have speakers like Irene Bustamante with Workforce Connections, how important it is, because we're all part of this. We're all part of the problem, and we're all part of the solution. And that means all of you as well. And anyway, I could go on, but congratulations to the graduates. I'm looking so forward to working with all of them, looking forward to mentoring also the officers, so that they understand their best role and how they can actually change lives. And I know if you stay in it long enough, you'll see what I'm talking about and how you're going to be able to change someone's life. Anyway, congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Director, for that. I greatly appreciate it. And I heard everything you said, and then it dawned on me, you cursed. You know how long I've been writing this and trying to take curse words out, and then you cursed. I could have. Oh. But thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Mr. John Ponder, can you please stand? I got your name right, correct? Okay. from the bottom of my heart and also my academy staff, we want to sincerely thank you for allowing us to come here. I'm going to be honest with you. Being a correctional officer, we had our hope for prisoners. What? We're not going to hope for prisoners? No. We have to understand that as correctional officers, we work with them on this side. You work with them on this side. So if they're coming over here, they're better in their life. And with that being said, we want to be a part of that. Like I told you before, you have us as a partner. Whenever you need us, pick up the phone, call, we'll be here. Somebody in my staff, we'll be here. So once again, thank you for allowing us to have it here. We understand the vision, we appreciate it, and we look forward to being a partnership. I want our star on that wall out there too. I got one for you, I'm gonna send it to you. I would like to thank the head table, carving time out your day to come and be a part of this. Like the director said, it's our first academy, and you probably wouldn't have known it till he said something. But some things I want to leave with you today, and also the graduating class. Leadership, team, focus, accountability, integrity. Those are just some of the things that come to my mind when I think about being a correctional officer. To the family and friends, this is not the end. This group of 10 people are going to actually promote and do wonders in the department. They're going to need your support. So I really want you to support them because we get mandated like crazy. So they're going to be there for 16 hours and come home and not want to do anything but sleep because they got to go right back. So we need that support. To my staff, I appreciate you guys for helping this vision. Arnold, Senior Arnold, I appreciate you as well. Senior Jared, I appreciate you as well. With that being said,